Okay, shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Kodash. I'm gonna name this very good title. Here it comes. I'm gonna name this "Don't Die Over the Internet." Very important title, right? So I didn't have the title, but I always wanted to do a lesson pretty much on the internet shit. But I never had the title, so I heard somebody say it. The title. I was watching the interview, and the guy said it, and I said, "Oh, yo, wait, that's the title right there. That's what I've been looking for." So I want to put a lot of spirit into this, but you know how it is. It's just whatever you got, right? So we gonna see, right? So I wanted to go into this topic. Not that many precepts on it, just some straightforward precepts, pretty much. But the point is the message, So pretty much breaking it down, man. Don't let the internet, don't die over the internet, man. What do I mean by that? This is something that's been going on since the internet's been made, Motherfuckers act different about the internet, man. A lot of celebrities have this problem when they get famous. They have to detach from worrying about what people feel about them because you got a lot of trolls, you got a lot of people that talk shit. And for the people that talk shit on the internet, man, I see it all the time. I'm talking about brothers that's in the truth, people that claim to be in the truth. They talk all the shit that they can talk on the internet, but in person, they are not like what they is on the internet. See, that's what I mean when I say don't die over the internet. Don't let this internet shit go to your head. See, when the internet goes down, that's when me personally, that's what I believe the elect is going to come together. Why do this person got to be over that person? Or why do the heads of these different camps, they can't come together? Why? Because it's all about, this is still something that go on amongst Israel. I can't let another man be over me. I got to be over him. I got to be over him. Or no, I'm over him, or I'm over him, and shit like that. And they fight that shit, right? But then they claim, oh, well, we gotta have this type of order, though. Then they claim that they order. Every camp does this. Every camp claims that they got the 100% truth. Every camp claims if you leave a camp, then you leave in the body. Every camp say that they leaders are the leaders. Every camp believe that one day they gonna get, everybody gonna look at they camp for being the number one camp, and all the other camps gonna have to come under them. Every camp says the same thing, man. They all believe that bullshit, right? But what I believe is that the Lord is going to destroy them, scatter them, and then the elect is going to come together. It's you your own man, I'm my own man. Now listen, I must say this. This is very, very simple. Follow me here, right? When we doing something, we have order because we're trying to get a job done. Right? But that do not mean that you're over me as a man, right? As a man, I have my, kings, a nation. How can I say this? A nation, a priest and king. I'm a king, you a king. I ain't over you, you ain't over me. I ain't no better than you, you ain't no better than me. I watch your back, you watch my back. You know what I mean? United, and I heard this. United we stand, separate we fall. It's that simple. I ain't over you. You ain't over me. You watch my back. I watch your back. United we stand. Separate we fall. That simple, man. But niggas got egos, so they can't really. They don't want that. You know what I mean? They want to be over a nigga and shit like that. I had a little situation down at the camp, right? And the main reason that we fell out is because the leader of the camp, he didn't want he had a problem with me saying that I looked at him as a peer. Not saying that I looked at myself better than him. Just me saying, look, I look at us as being even. We're equal. Because anything you could do, I could do. So how are you a fucking peer to? I mean, how are you over me or anything like that? I don't know if you the elect. You don't know if I'm the elect. We're peers. We're around the same age group, wherever it be. We're peers. He had a problem with that because that's niggas' egos because they want to be over you. And then the guy said in the video, he said, yeah, man, I always wanted a guy like Smokey and Day or whatever, Craig and Smokey, where I had a best friend like that. You can never have that because you have this complex of that shit. You got to be over niggas. You can never have that because if you get a friend like how Smokey and Craig was, or Day Day and Craig was, the shit is damn near like their peer. What was Smokey and Craig? They were peers. You know what I mean? But you have a problem with a motherfucker correcting you. A motherfucker that you look at yourself as being better. But of course, if it's an elder or somebody that you look up to, you don't have no problem with them correcting you. But what if you get corrected by somebody that you think that you're over? So that was my whole situation. Look, we're peers. When you deal with the law, statutes, and commandments, right? It says no respect of a persons. So when I say we're peers, guess what? That means we're peers in the Lord's eyes. At the end of the day, and there is, you got order when you doing something, right? But just like with King David, he was no better than any other man in Israel as far as the law, statutes, and commandments go. So you have to be able to discern the difference between that. I'll say it again for the slow niggas, right? King David was a king. He had a higher position than another man, right? Let's just say just a normal Israelite man. But as far as the law, statutes, and commandments go, he was no better than any other man in Israel. He had to follow the same law, statutes, and commandments that everybody else have to follow. Period. That's what it is. So yeah, in that case, when it comes to the law, statutes, commandments, we're all peers. So I can never get mad at you for doing anything really, unless you're breaking one of the law, statutes, and commandments and going against me with something like that. If you ain't doing that, which me telling another man that I look at him as a peer, or me putting the word GMS on my name on YouTube, neither one of those are sins. Now, camps could spin the shit and do what the Christians do and go in the Bible, get precepts and say it is a sin. But there's nowhere in the law that's going to say if you put GMS on your name on YouTube, that's a sin. And there's nowhere in the law that says, look, if you look at another person that is a peer, that very well could be a peer. If not, I could be the elect and he cannot be. Or he could be the elect, I cannot be. Or neither one of us could be the elect. Or we both could be the elect. But those are things that we don't know yet. So as of right now, we're all peers. But this is the problem, and this is why you don't see like groups and camps, really different camps being able to come together with each other because of that ego. And I know some brothers just learned it from their elders, and they just really much repeating what they heard from their elders pretty much, right? But that's why I always ask myself this when I came into truth. I said, damn, it's all these great camps. It's some big camps. There's a lot of different ones. And I listen to their teachers and their heads. And I say, man, these men seem like they got a lot of wisdom and knowledge, a lot of information. You know what I mean? Whether it be Sakari, whether it be GMS, whether it be IUIC, whether it be HODC, all of them, you keep going on and on. Wi-Fi code cuts. When you look at the leaders, you have to say, right, you might not agree with what they say, but you would say, okay, these men have some wisdom and knowledge, right? And I say, okay, then why can't they like sit down somewhere in a room and figure out a way to unite, right? United we stand, right? Because how could kingdom divided stand, right? So I was like, why can't that happen? And I always wanted to search for that answer, right? And what I got is this egos, pride, and this motherfucking internet, right? So why was One West able to all come together like that? That shit was like before the internet really started popping off like that. But when this internet demon, that's what I should have named this video, the internet demon. I might name it that, right? When this internet demon came around, that goes to niggas' heads, because now it's just like with bitches that I'm just talking, but let's just say woman. It's just like with women, you could call these bitches because they wicked. There's a difference from a bitch and there's a difference from a princess, right? Of Israel. There's a difference, right? But these women, right? It's the same thing with them. What went to their head? They got the internet. So it used to be, the woman would fuck the dudes that's in their neighborhood, the local dudes that's around them, because that's who they could see and that's who they could get with. But when they got on that motherfucking internet, we live in Springfield. The same girl that would be fucking around with Springfield dudes now, she got access to niggas from St. Louis. She got access from niggas from Decatur. She got access from niggas from Champaign. She got niggas that'll drive from Chicago to come see her. So that just opened up her motherfucking whole inventory, because the internet, all a nigga gotta do is get on the internet and inbox her, rather than meeting her at a local store, which you have to be local in the neighborhood. Now, a nigga could fly her out from Cali if he want her bad enough. Hey, yeah, baby, you live in Springfield, Illinois. They talking about the ticket to get out here to Cali is $500. I want you bad enough. I'm balling. $500 ain't nothing. I'm finna pay for your ticket. Just, go to the airport. You know what I mean? Get on a plane and meet me. I'll pick you up from LAX or whatever. You know what I mean? Now that opened up her, what's the word? Because I just had it. That opened up her her like clientele, her options. So now she got options. So now niggas in the hood, I'm too good for you. I'm too good for you. I got all these niggas that's in my inbox and all these options. So now what happens when you get options, right? When you get a whole bunch of options, you're gonna pick the best ones, the cream of the crop. But when you really ain't got options, then you deal with what you got, right? So the internet went to their head, but the internet ain't just go to the women head. The internet went to these niggas head too. And I call them niggas because that's how they act. But man, the internet went to man head. You know, they get on this internet, they get an image. They do the dance, they do the parade and shit like that. And that's cool because you always gonna have a hook, right? You have a hook, something to draw the people into what you saying. But what happens is after they get past that hook and they come to your video, are you speaking real spill? Or are you putting on some tough guy act? Me, I promise you. Now, you don't know this for a fact, but I promise you, if you have any spiritual discernment, just listen to my voice. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. Me, this is me 100%. You meet me on the street, this is me. I ain't no pussy, none of that. You know what I mean? And ain't nobody ever tried to play with me like that. But I done had guys that then been one way in person and then got to the internet and then just got to talking like they was just crazy. You know what I mean? My whole thing that happened with I got love for GMS. The Sincere Brothers. And I learned a lot from GMS. When I speak about GMS, I'm speaking about this one particular camp that I went to, right? So when I went to this camp, I had a situation when I left, you know, it was a nice to meet you, bro. Good luck. Wish you the best. You know, this just ain't for me. This gonna be my last day. Said it to one person, said it to another person. Nice to meet you, bro. I'm gonna leave. You know, this is my last day. Wish you the best. That was said back to me. Pretty much, you know, we shook up and everything, right? And then our last words that I had with the guy I had a problem with was, hey, wish to see you on a chariot, bro. Or wish to see you on a chariot. I'm going to see you there. Then fast forward, now they popping off on the internet. You see what I'm saying? It's the internet. Talking, it was no tough shit. But then when it got to the internet, it was yeah, it's probably best that you don't come back down no more in person. But then on the internet, it was, we told him to kick rocks. So so I'm saying you never said those words to me. So what's the difference from what was said in person? This is real shit. Whether you have an opinion or not, you can say, well, we don't like him, I'm taking this person's side or whatever. But this is real shit. This is man shit. What's the difference from what was said in person to now you spicing it up on the internet? This is my point. The internet goes to people's head. They put this front on, and now they all of a sudden they the toughest nigga in the world, man. Because you hiding behind the internet. It's no different than when you get in your car and you lock the doors. Now you cussing niggas out. You big bag and tough. But when you in a nigga face, then it's nothing. Not saying that it's no type of problems like that. There is no type of problems like that. I'm just giving an example of how the internet make people tougher than what they is. But this is the problem. When you go to the internet and you put that tough guy act on, then you offend motherfuckers in real life, really, because they don't know that you just doing it for the internet. Then you gotta come. Then when you meet them in person, you like, yeah, we ain't really got no real status. I really got love for them. I ain't got no real problems with them. I ain't got no real stat. I was just talking shit on the internet. You know, I just talk shit like that. And then niggas like, oh yeah, really? Some people are like that. Me, I ain't like that. You know what I mean? Anything I say on the internet, I gotta be able to stand on that shit in person. The same way I said it on the internet. That's how I am. But like I said, you know, you get brothers coming as truth. They got different upbringings. Motherfuckers say, well, why you always bringing up your upbringing? Because that's a part of me. That's who I am. You know, and I understand why people do certain things. And a lot of times you do certain things based off your upbringings. You don't know how to handle things like a man will handle things. You can't accept a person not agreeing with you. Which leads me back to what? The internet. With the whole different beef and doctrines and shit like that. You mad because you can't handle him not agreeing with what you say it is. No, I ain't gotta. This supposed to be my brother. I'm supposed to show brotherly love no matter what. I gotta do my part. If he sin, he get judged by the Lord. But me, I'm gonna show this brother love because that's in the commandments, right? So if he don't agree with what I'm teaching or how I'm teaching it, right? As long as this is from me. If it ain't no blasphemy type shit where you blaspheme the Lord's name or whatever, where you saying fuck this, fuck that, and shit like that, just complete out of disrespect. But if you just have a different opinion on what this mean, some shit like that, I'm still going to show you brotherly love. No, it's not. I'm separating myself. I can't talk to you. I can't do no videos with you. I can't commune with you. I can't do nothing with you because you believe in a different doctrine. Because when you do that, you may think that you're in the right, but really you sinning. Because now you cutting off your brother just because he got a difference in opinion than you, and you ain't showing brotherly love. And it says, hey, how could two walk except they be agreed? And how could two walk except they be on agree to everything? That's why I made a video about this. You have to come together first. And then when you come together, then you start to find things in common. Just like having a wife. You meet your wife, she got her values, you got your values, y'all might have different values. Y'all come together, and then over the time, y'all become one. Then they say, damn, she talk just like KD. She act just like KD. Look, she just like him. But that shit don't happen the first week you meet her. That shit happens over time. But what y'all had to do first, y'all had to come together. Probably move in together. Live together. And then y'all become one. So that's what's going to happen with the elect. The elect going to actually, they might have, because you got the elect amongst all these camps, which mean what? You got the elect following different doctrines. But what's going to happen with the elect? They going to break away from that shit, and they going to come together, and they going to come together with different doctrines. You might have some of the elect that's in IUIC. They believe in the IUIC shit. Then you might have some of the elect that's in GMS. They believe in the GMS shit. But when the Lord breaks up all those camps, and then those two different groups of elect come together, they gonna come together like we just said with the woman, with their different values. But once they strolling together, then they gonna find things in common, and then they gonna get down to the bottom of things, little by little. Hey, you know what? We say that it's spiritual, the MOTB. We say that the MOTB is the C hip. You know what I mean? Then that shit might go back and forth for a little bit. No, it's this. No, it's this because this. Now look at this precept. Now look at that precept. But then that's when the Lord comes in, and the Lord's going to elevate whichever one is the truth. And then brothers that thought it was spiritual might be like, you know what? It's the C hip. They might start off, they might say, okay, you know what? It's the C hip and it's spiritual. Then eventually they might be like, you know what? It's just the C hip. But that takes time. You got to come together first. You can't separate yourself and say you got to come get down with us or lay down. We not fucking with you. You never gonna make that happen. You know. So that's just what I think. This is Mark 7 verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, right? Teaching for doctrines and commandments of man. You know. I seen a guy. He put up a video. Got a lot of people watching it and talking about it. And he was pretty much saying how you know if you're in a cult. You know, pretty much he was giving the signs of how you was in a cult. And most of the signs went into doctrines of commandments of man. You got to do this. If you leave us, you leave in the body. You know what I mean? You have to come through us in order to get to the heaven gates. You have to come through this camp. Woo out the bam and this and that. And he had a whole list. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. You know, that's pretty much all of these camps, right? But yeah, you know, teaching doctrines of commandments of men. So how the fuck? And this is what happened. Brothers get mad at brothers based off a doctrine and commandment of men. But they could go to the Bible and, you know, do the whole Christian walk, Christian dance, walk it out. You know, take a precept and say, look, this is what it means. This is what it means. You know what I mean? But it's not. You know, but we done seen like brothers get kicked out of camps, and then all the rest of their brothers that they was brothers with. You call me your brother at one point in time. Our lead, we seen a guy, he left the camp, and then all his brothers that he was brothers with, you know, that shake your hand and say Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Barakatha. But a lot of guys just say that shit. They don't really mean it. Because if you really meant that, then how the fuck, just because I left the camp or whatever, what the bam, now you cut me off cold turkey and you ain't fucking with me no more, because they learned the commandment of the man that was telling them to do that. You know, it says, here, let me see what else I got. You know, it says, but without no, James 2 verse 20, it says, here, let me see if my shit don't go off. It says, but without know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead, which we already know that, right? You say you got faith and stuff, but you gotta show it with works, though, man. It says here, let me see, cause I just put up a precept list right here. I ain't even gonna. Here, I have one. Here, let me see. Here, this is Isaiah 49 and 4. Then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught and in vain. yet surely my judgment is with the Lord and my work with my God. So I mean that's what you're doing the work for, right? The Lord, right? And that's just what it come down to. And your judgment is from the Lord. So all y'all that's doing that shit over, that's why I said don't die over the internet. You know, you gonna get judged by the Lord, man. So you gotta watch what you doing, man. Don't just say I'm gonna act this way with this people, but then I'm gonna act different with outsiders and shit like that. You can get judged by the Lord for what you're doing. You need to think about the law, statutes, commandments. That's it, and having faith in the Lord. That's it, and doing that to the best of your ability, man. You know, this internet shit get a lot of motherfuckers. That's why I can't wait till this internet go off. It's a lot of fronting on the internet, man. And it's just clear as day to see it today. A lot of fronting on the internet, you know. And then another thing, you know, when you see these guys on the internet and you're watching their channels, you got to remember, if you don't know them personally, you don't know them, man. And they don't give a fuck about you. You're nothing to them because they don't know you personally, man. They act like it, but they don't know you personally. So you can't, just because you watch a lot of brothers videos, don't try to act like you too familiar with this brother if you don't know them in person, man. The internet shit is wicked. It's the most wickedest thing, man. The www goes into 666. So it's the most wickedest shit, man. So you gotta watch out for this internet shit, man. Don't get on here trying to portray to be something that you're not, right? And watch out for the guys that is doing it, you know? You gotta make real connections in real life with people. You know, with that. So with that, I'm gonna say salvation to you, like Shalom.